Hello, you guys. This is Stephanie again from Unveiling the Spirit with my third reason to answer the question of if love actually hurts. And the first reason I talked about if you can't love somebody else until you love yourself, which is an explanation of how people kind of reflect their pain into relationships, even though it looks like they are the loving and caring one, they're actually reflecting their pain into the relationship, and that they are anyone who stays in a relationship for a long period of time when they are not being treated the way that they want to be mistreated, especially being mistreated, because you're not going to always be treated exactly the way you want to be treated, which is totally different from being mistreated. And so people who are continuously being mistreated, those who have a healthy sense of themselves and things of that nature, are not going to stay in that type of relationship for very long. And something that I forgot to mention in the first video is that if you can look at people who will leave faster instead of staying in relationship for years and years and years. Of course, that is how the wound develops. That is how a wound deepens. But if you leave faster, or if you nip things in the bud faster and create some separation faster so that these problems can be worked on, it diminishes the opportunity to develop a wound. It diminishes the opportunity to be in a relationship for years and years and years and then walk away from it later and say how hurt you were that things never worked out because the problem wasn't dealt with in the beginning. And so, most of the time I'm referencing this to the past because I know a lot of people who still have very, very old wounds from relationships that were never healed. But that's also happening in people's present relationship where they have wounds from their partner and holding on to those wounds from their partner, and the relationship is not able to move forward. A lot of the time that is caused by people not dealing with the situation up front, and people who usually do that or avoid dealing with the situation but staying in the relationship usually have deeper issues going on. And so that is the first reason. So the second reason that I gave is sometimes leaving a person space and time to think and deal with their issues, even if it hurts you, is actually a sign of loving that person, because you're putting their mental, emotional, spiritual needs first. You're making a sacrifice for their behalf because you understand that what's more important and what's beneficial to the relationship is for that person to deal with their issues. Now, that doesn't mean if you leave the person, you have nothing to do with them, like you're angry with them. No, you understand that they are unable to give you the relationship what it needs at that point, and so you take some distance so they can deal with whatever problems that they are bringing into the relationship in order for you guys to come back together later from a healthier perspective. And so that was the second reason. And the third reason is kind of connected to that, and that is if you know, again, people say that love hurts, but if you really love someone, because love actually does not hurt, but if you really love someone and if they want to leave and the relationship does not work, you will be fine. It doesn't usually turn into a very, very deep wound like a lot of people have, like even I have had in the past. When you respect that person, when you have a healthy sense of yourself, and then which is also reflected towards other people because you respect them and you respect their choices. If that person chooses not to get their act together or wants to leave the relationship, or you have to leave the relationship, because a lot of times when people see that stuff is not working, they tend to get mad at the other person for not doing what needs to be done to fix it. And it causes more problems, and so, but really, if you love yourself and you love that person, you will respect their choice, even if that choice is to leave, and you won't take it personally, because deep down you will understand that it has nothing to do with you. It's about their own issues that they had before they met you, and they are simply reflecting them into the relationship. Sometimes people are not ready to deal with their issues. They're not ready to confront them, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's personal towards the person who is now being affected by that, or a person who has to now sacrifice the relationship because of that. You will respect that they're human, you respect their choice, you respect their limitations as a human, and you will move on. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be hurt or you're not going to be sad, that. But again, if you love yourself, you will know you will be fine. You won't carry around this wound or this bloodstained banner, so to speak, for this person that you loved so much that wasn't able to love you back, when you understand who you were before you were with them. Because if you understand who you were and you have a strong sense of who you were before you were with them, when they leave, you're simply returning to that stage. You're not returning to something that's worse from before. So it's like, before I met you, I was fine, and I will be fine after you leave. Now, granted, again, that doesn't mean you won't be sad or you won't be hurt and things like that. I don't want to make it seem like a person who has a healthy sense of themselves has no feelings. That's not true. But they do have better control over their feelings, and they're able to put their feelings in perspective better with the reality of the situation. And so, you know if a person has to leave or it's not working out, that it's not necessarily about you. You understand that you as a person are just not willing to subject the valuable person that you believe you are to such misuse and abuse. And you know that it's just for the better of you and the person. It's nothing to take personal. You move on, you heal, and hopefully you find a person who is better able to give you what you want and need out of the relationship. Now, there's a whole nother issue with that, because sometimes people wants and needs are not realistic, but I'll have to do another video about that one. This one is getting on about 6 or 7 minutes now, so I'm going to wrap it up. But those are my 3 reasons why love does not actually hurt, and that we need to change our perception when we come into contact or we have relationships that where we're experiencing a lot of hurt, and deal with where the hurt is actually coming from, because it is never coming from love. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, let me know if you got anything out of this. Like this, share this, and I'll come back to you with a different topic in about a week or two. So thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.